So friends, having seen some of the tenets of corporate governance and then governance. So difference we have tried to understand the corporate governance is a prescription of systems and procedures, and how to governance is the process of how we integrate them with the structure of the organization, with the policy framework, with the business process, systemic controls, systems, controls, procedures, processes, manpower, training, talent management, all that, which translates the corporate governance into business. When you perceive the risk, then you identify the risk. Finding out whether that risk is worth managing or we tolerate the risk. There is a 4T principle as far as risk management is concerned. Then the third one is terminate. Like we cannot do it. Like suppose this work is non, we cannot do it. Then just give it up, because it is better not to endanger the organization by taking such kind of activity which you cannot do. Okay. So treat means 90% of the bank's business, that you manage your people, you make your people more competent, make your systems robust, your firewalls, which need to be taken care, and that is the comprehensive view of risk management. That's what I wanted to highlight, with an emphasis on operational risk. Risk management is also intended to develop mitigation strategies, that the last man in the organization should know what is risk management. Kitty bank, you are putting coins in the bank's business. Very good. Put good coins. But if you can't take the assistance, if I do not know, I don't have the digital literacy, I do not know what is the implications of how is it possible that my safety is ensured. Though the first line of defense should be the strongest defense system, so that nothing intrudes into the system. No trespassing of risk. Articulate what should be the risk appetite. What should be the good combination of assets and liabilities in the balance sheet? Now, if you see the composition of our risk management lines of business, 90% of our people, if they do not know their area of work, then they will be spoiling our work. So please keep that in mind. So as far as the compliance is concerned, compliance is a set of prescribed internal policies, procedures, and processes. My dear friends, regulation is something prescribed by the regulator which you cannot avoid. So it is not debatable whether regulations you will. So please ensure that regulations are always one size fits all. Though even 70% is also fine. By the bank, maybe, I do not know whether your bank will permit you or not, but yes, there is some possibility. Latitude is there. There will be business continuity and public trust. Systemic stability will be there. Consumer protection will be there. Embedded culture of risk management. There is a laundry list of advantages of compliances, regulatory compliances. And one most important thing is there will be no penalty from the regulator. You don't have to disclose it in your balance sheet, and your balance sheet will not become will not be scrutinized by the investors while making investment in your company. ICT, that is information communication and technology. This is the big enabler of risk management. It is a big enabler for GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. But if your firewalls are what you call the system audit is systems audit is done well, your UAT is good, that is user acceptance test is UAT is done well, then there is no chance of cyber breach. Change your passwords, your things in such a way that you create a culture of, you must know what is the intrigue, how the system functions, what is the software, who is the vendor, what kind of template we have, what kind of instructions we need to follow. Tell others also. So we must do a lot of learning as far as the implementation of technology is concerned. And you can't work without technology. So educate the people, try to educate. I don't say that you will be able to educate, but when you are giving a debit card, please tell the persons what are the debit card rules. Means how the password is important, PIN is important, and how he can handle the ATM. So try to do something, whatever is possible. So it is something to do with humans who have empathy, where emotional intelligence is involved. Assurance functions acts as extended arms of supervision and are crucial in identifying, escalating, and facilitating the proactive management of risks and preventing them from ballooning into a crisis. You can avoid a crisis arising. CCO, Chief Compliance Officer, doesn't report to vertical heads, and insufficient guidance and lack of clear management accountability, inadequate recognition and assessment of the risk. If you do not manage the risk properly, then the off balance sheet items many times are very fuzzy. Now, having understood and discussed about, in another 7 minutes, I will close it. GRC is integrated collection of capabilities of people. That is why I was telling that even the last man should be digitally literate, know what is risk, because a top-down management and a bottom-up management, there has to be a blended governance system. IL&FS failure in 2018, what happened? If you recollect, they did not know how many subsidiaries they had and what kind of risks they were taking. No single individual can do, but if a single individual overpowers, then crisis will emerge. ICICI Bank, the Videocon group conflict, the authoritative behavior of Goel, that the person who has been put behind bars, I don't want to name, but key persons in the organization. It also leads to weak.
And I'm certain it has given all of us a tremendous amount of to think about and regarding our own roles and institutions. And friends, now we like to open the floor for your questions and observations. So this is your opportunity to engage directly with our esteemed speaker as well as with our mentors. To ask a question, you can either use the checkbox at the bottom of your screen to type it out, or you can use the raise hand feature if you would like to ask the question live, and we'll be enable your audio and video for his observations. Then he'll be followed by Dr. Barendra Kumar Bhoi.
Ravji, excellent presentation.
Thank you,
Vast
sir.
subject is very difficult to cover, but you have covered various aspects in a very lucid manner. Nothing to add, but I just want to. That's why the corporate governance of banks not only different, but also it is very, very critical for the banks, serving the several conflicting interests in comparison to other companies. Borrowers want less interest, depositors wants more return product and service to the customers, return to the promoters, have been assigned with the accelerated role of socio-economic development of the country, banks, because it is one of the strategic pillar which can underpin the trust. Therefore, it points out the non-compliance events for ensuring that such events do not recur.
Most of the cases, audit committee, despite clean audit report, they are reporting to the board. Board meets once in a while. Sometimes they also say, yes, it is there is no disclaimer. It's a clean report. There is no need to discuss. And Dr. Rao has emphasized it also. Disclosure is very important. I think next Sunday also I'll be dealing with that. Disclosure has come down. Your NPA might have come down because of, say, conversion of credit to investment. And when it comes to risk management, banks are more interested about the asset side. Liability side, yes, we will mobilize the deposit. We will see in the next Sunday also, I will deal with that. We'll mobilize the deposit. We are definitely interested about deposit, but depositor protection, No, he has shared his, password with somebody or something or the other. So when it is a question of compliance, then probably corporate governance is compromised. 7 to 8 lakh mule account in the banking system. KYC is compromised. 7 to 8 lakh account.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Poi, for that very useful insight, I would say. And
Chat is enabled. 1 minute. I'll just see. Now, suppose I am working in a customer service department. My score is has come down from 20 to 18. Then I can link that with the performance management system. But at the branch level, one can always link it with the performance management system. Means they can always do the integration of the two. That is one way of managing. Second is convincing. Third is educating.
what I would say is that why don't we build it at that very stage when an employee is being taken into the bank?
So that people are inducted into the system in a systematic way. Otherwise, again, the same things will happen. So that is why I was telling in the beginning itself, universalization of
Most of the time, what we will do is we will give a checklist for a branch head about the branch functioning to be submitted for weekly basis or monthly or fortnightly basis. He will just tick it and he will send it. Or we will ask him to take daily the daybook slips and verify. Complied is the deposit portfolio, liability portfolio, except KYC, accepting the KYC and all. But most of the frauds nowadays, youngsters are doing only with related to the liabilities.
They might have found out, means there is regulation and supervision department might have found. Now the supervision department, there is on-site as well as off-site monitoring.
But these all big loans, it is a committee of MD, CEO, ED, RBI nominee, must, these three people, and one of the other directors in identifying the loopholes of either ICICI case or S Bank case.
Another thing is that when it comes to appointment of top executives in private banks, RBI has a other case. But when something similar happens in a public sector banks, RBI cannot do anything.
33% में लाने के लिए बोला है, लेकिन होता नहीं है ना.
So first and foremost, on behalf of everyone, I'd like to extend deepest gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Rao. Thank you, sir, for so generously sharing your expertise and clarifying such a critical topic. There was valuable information shared today, and as promised, the full video recording, detailed webinar summary with key takeaways and special ebook. And on behalf of Elite Bankers Club, thank you once again for joining us today. And I look forward to seeing you on the next event, that is the next Sunday, when Dr. Bhoi will be discussing or decoding the RBI financial stability report for us. And till then, have a wonderful rest of